Cà chê nó cũng ngon. Bạn. Cái trong cột đi theo cột mình thấy score trong bọc như tích đan này score thì mỏng. Hay khung thì sử miền là khung trắng miền khung trắng này. Hay cái hạt trong bọc nó group khung rồi cái tai hạt nó khung thì sử miền group khung tai còn là miền tích trên trắng. Nó thâu cái đá một cái lên trong bọc nó từ miền bồn nó cái lên này thâu cái đá này vì xui đó miền là cái khung nó là cái lên tai này hát miền tròn được hàng sông được cơ tăng ở liên được ăn từ lâu lớn tai là cái con tiếng kia mò chua ruộng tông ọc này trong cái trong thì thằng trong sạch bạch quất cái trong cá ta hạt người thu cái vàng cái sào những cái châu mồ phục vụ là về buồn tiền. Vậy thì cái xu miền các bạn ta số sang nhưng mà đừng là cái nòng này lên đến chẳng nhóm khơi nhập cục nhóm guitar nhóm quạt phồng lên nhóm máu nhóm sờ lạnh nhóm lên đi nó phối sát miền các vùng Shanghai miền ta được khai thác sinh vật thưa các bạn là du đi dân sách con đây cũng không chào nữa hay có sửa lên Rip thiệp chấm bát áo chấm bát bạn chỉ làm món gì nhà mày đấy anh nói việc lo chuyện muốn cả vì muốn viên khoa xong rồi ạ cả sự kiện tapi cái dương tàu lại hạt cái dương to cả nạn nơi khi mau đi khai.
Chaplin grew up in a wrestling village which is about 30 miles outside of Phnom Penh. He was brought to this training facility in 2002 and the fighters, the wrestlers, they actually live here in the gym and they get a small salary from the government, about $65 a month. In Japan entertainment, things are better than they were a few years ago. They have a little bit nicer wrestling room now, a little bit better equipment. The room is sleeping a little bit nicer. But the wrestler's life is still really hard. They don't make a lot of money. And, you know, he's a guy that has dedicated his entire life to wrestling. This is the only thing he's ever done. And he's certainly an expert at it. And unfortunately, wrestling doesn't really lead to a better life for his family.
Nguong tao Nguong ngoài Nguong Arts Odyssey Arts Odyssey Nguong Odyssey Nguong cái sao đó chứ vì có Nguong Dal Bande Nguong trong miền Ban Ha Nguong trong Bande.
Chaplin was always curious about what we do in MMA, how do you hold in MMA, how do you pin, how do you fight on the ground, and he would sort of go home at night and think about all this stuff, and then when I'd come back the next day, he'd have some ideas for me. And then the next morning, he'd come in with all these ideas about how to escape, how to reverse. Would this work? Would that work?
Okay, Casey, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your wrestling background and tell the folks what you're doing with the Khmer team.
Sure, my name is Casey Barnett, and I'm from the U.S., Montana, and I wrestled since I was in first grade, so around 6-7 years old. Freestyle, Greco, and also folk style high school wrestling.
In college? Did you wrestle college?
I wrestled in college as a club sport.
Okay. Intramural.
In freestyle, I regularly placed in the state competitions in both freestyle and Greco. But in high school, in Washington State, when I was older, I never placed.
It was more competitive?
Oh, yeah. I did get, I won a number of tournaments and won second in district in Spokane, Washington, which is where the wrestling movie Vision Quest
Oh, yeah.
was. My
The
coach was
the
Cash
only
Stone.
wrestling movie.
Yeah, the only wrestling movie, yeah. And third in divisionals, went to state and place. Wrestled as a club sport in college, at Dartmouth College. And first...
But that's an all-girls school.
No. It's the most macho of the Ivy League schools.
Now, what's this rumor that you fought Hoist Gracie? No, you, no. What's the story? You won, what, second place in a jiu-jitsu tournament?
Yes.
It's a crazy story, man.
When I did my graduate degree at Columbia, I joined the jiu-jitsu club. And so I started to train jiu-jitsu rather than wrestling. And so I trained about maybe a month, and then I entered the competition and the tournament, and I got second place.
And that was for New York State competition, or?
No, it was a Columbia University Invitational.
Okay.
So it was a number of universities from the Northeast. They sent people in.
That's still really cool, man. After 1 month of training.
Yeah, during the tournament, I was able to take people down, control them.
Yeah.
But in the championship match, I was ahead in points, and then in the last just few seconds,
Got submitted.
I lost in the triangle.
Yeah. That's the problem. The wrestlers have really good takedown and control, but then you don't really have a lot of submissions to finish. Tell us about your involvement with Cambodian wrestling.
So in 2007 and 2008, I actually came and trained with them for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I competed in one of the national wrestling championships here. I got second place in, they had an open category. They didn't have enough wrestlers. And I lost to a guy named Leun, who weighed around 130 kg. And I had a lot of fun working out with them day by day, and I learned a lot. And I trained under the Korean coach as well. And I was their practicing dummy, and I was also, they were also my practicing dummies. And it was challenging, it was disciplined, and because of my experience, my friendship with them, through training with them, after I stopped training regularly, I wanted to support them. And so since that time, I've been giving them money for supplies, shoes, equipment. And there's a funny thing where the national wrestling team doesn't get a salary for a couple months every year. And so during that time, I've been buying rice and food and things like that.
So the guys that are actually on the team, they live here in the center? They actually live here in the gym?
Not all of them, but many of them do. If they come from like Leun, if they come from a village, then they'll live here.
Because petrol's so...
No, Phnom Penh, so he'll stay at home.
Roll ting ai double day win. Gain now, okay. Yeah, because now the petrol is so expensive that if they were to try and drive every day, that would be their whole salary.
Yeah.
Because their salary is only, how much is the salary?
$65.
$65 a month.
Okay, 60 gram or 60 gram? 65.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, how can you live on that?
Right.
And they lose a lot of wrestlers too. And one thing I've done is, as a donor to these events, is that I've always set aside money for the coaches.
Nice.
So I provide supplemental income to coaches.
Nice.
And I also provide money for running the events and tournaments. So the wrestlers who are from the national wrestling team, they can get an income from being scorekeepers.
Right.
Referees.
Timekeeper.
Yeah.
Judges. Yeah.
But they need a lot more support than me. So